Asteroid Shaman is a new archetype for the Great Dark Beyond expansion pack. What you'll find is that it's able to combo down your opponent quite easily once you get a few of your spells in your deck. The important cards to mulligan with this deck is to make sure you're mulliganing for Miracle Salesman, the Totem, the Ultraviolet, the 3-drop Ultraviolet, and our Greedy Partner. Those cards are the main mulligans, and when you use Miracle Salesman, you also want to make sure that you're keeping the Snake Oil, because if you get the Snake Oil into your deck, it means it will dilute the pool. The important and the main strategy of this deck is to use and build up your your asteroid damage, and then have spell damage on the board at the same time to burst them down with asteroids. In this gameplay footage, you'll see that I'm playing against a rogue. This rogue is... Rogue's a relatively easy archetype for this deck. I started off with Miracle Salesman, and then I used the 2-drop Totem as well. What I want to do is try and cycle through my cards as quick as possible, and then it means it's more likely in the later game that I'll be drawing into Asteroid after Asteroid, once I've got the spell damage and also the Asteroid damage laid onto it. So what I end up doing here is play down my Ultraviolet Breaker, and then it puts some asteroids into the deck. It gets rid of the 3-2, and I'm essentially establishing tempo onto the opponent. What I'm coming up against here is a Starship Rogue, so they're usually a little bit slower to battle against as well. I use the Greedy Partner here to get the extra coin, and then I also play down my Totem afterwards. It's important that you do get your tempo out as quick as possible, but I'm also using the Totem here to draw some more cards. If you come up against a deck that does stack quite a lot of armor, like Starship Rogue can in the later turns, you do have Incendious plus Shutter Block. Both of those cards can be used to boost your damage, and used to put heaps of options in the deck. Triangulate can then choose those cards if you need to do AoE damage to the opponent's board. The asteroids generally will have more specific targeted damage, but the eruptions are more useful if your opponent is going wide with their board. I played down the 4-drop then, and then I used the coin afterwards to make sure that I got the extra asteroids into the deck. It's important that you do use that to make sure when you're comboing out that you think about your spell burst as well while you're using it. While you're using specific spell burst cards like Ethereal Oracle and the 4-drop that's just there. So this deck that I'm playing, I'm not 100% sure what they're exactly trying to do. It seems like they're trying to go for ultra value, but it's interesting that they are Legend 48, considering that they're using an extremely value orientated deck. I do wonder if they're trying to use like an infinite Starship Rogue, but I'm not really 100% sure. So next turn I'm just going to play down my Titan, because it clears the board, and then it's in general usually the best of the things to play. I actually end up deciding to play Ethereal Oracle. That's interesting. Ethereal Oracle obviously is quite good here as well, because it means I can just get more of the asteroids. I could have traded first, but I wanted to keep the tempo onto the board because it is quite useful holding a minion longer and longer against Starship Rogue, because they do run out of damage quite easily doing that. I end up drawing into quite a lot of asteroids as well in these turns, and I just get rid of my Snake Oil here to make sure that I am not as likely to overdraw if they do use something to cause that. But like I mentioned before, you want to keep the Snake Oil in your hand. You don't want to shuffle it into your deck unless you're absolutely desperate, because not only does it combo with Ethereal Oracle and your other spell damage cards, it's also a bad card if you miss out on getting what you need to with Triangulate. So my opponent has played down a 2/6 Starship, which is fine for that, because I'm just going to play down the Thunderer, and then it will trade into that, which isn't much of an issue for it, and then I can heal. So they end up playing down this that overload card that's just there. So they, overheal card that's just there. So they got their 4/6 down. It will trade into my Thunderbringer, and then I end up trading the 3/6 into the 3/4, and then I heal to make sure I get maximum value using my Titan ability. I pass my turn over to my opponent, and then the following turn I should end up having lethal because I can use the Titan to get my 2 spell damage minions out of my deck, because they're both overload cards, so they're guaranteed draws. So my opponent here is just deciding what to do. They're at turn 8, so they could play down the Exodar and get their armor up, but it doesn't really seem like it's very much of an important play to be doing. So they end up playing down Ethereal Oracle. The Ethereal Oracle will draw them some cards. They may end up getting Dubious Purchase here as well, which may have been their strategy and their idea of playing into this. So instead they end up just using the Valera, and it's quite obvious here that they don't have the Dubious Purchase since they're considering trading into the 3/6. So they keep going with their turn. They got to stick up, so that they could have used Pocket Sand maybe against this, but there's not really too much they can do to deal with the board that they have against me. So they end up hitting in with their weapon, and it does get them the extra treasure, but they don't really have much of a board here to be able to deal with me. So the Asteroid ends up hitting into the Ethereal Oracle. I do my draw for the 2 overload cards, the Novice Zappers. I play them both down. I play down Ethereal Oracle, and then I just use the Frog to hit into them. So this ends up drawing me obviously 2 spells, but it also will more than likely draw me a bunch of comets as well. The game hasn't ended because I still have cards that are active and available to use. I end up drawing into the pop-up book, and then I take them out with that. I could have used Triangulate as well, which would have done the exact same thing to beat them. So going into this game, I'm playing against a rogue. I've already played against this player earlier today, so I know that I'm playing against a weapon rogue. I end up mulliganing my Ceaseless Expanse and my Ethereal Oracle and Shadow Block, because once again I want to make sure I'm going for Miracle Salesman, Greedy Partner, the Totem, and also the Ultraviolet Breaker. So here I play down my Miracle Salesman, pass over to them. I do want to make sure that when I'm doing this that I'm getting max value with Greedy Partner, so it's possible next turn I may just be holding it, because getting the coin is quite important, especially with the Ethereal Oracle, to get extra combination turns out. So just wait and see what my opponent ends up drawing into. They don't play anything down. I do once again know that this is a weapon rogue, so I use my my hero power to hopefully get a totem. Either the Taunt Totem or Spell Damage Totem is quite effective in this matchup. They end up just using the dagger, and then I think they end up just passing here. Okay, so this turn, it's turn 3 for me. I just play down the Ultraviolet Breaker, just to establish the board, since I want to be trying to get as much pressure as possible. And I've also got Ethereal Oracle and Pop-Up Book in my hand anyway, so I'd be able to use that to take out their their 3-drop. Their Sweaty Sword Channel. So Ethereal Oracle Pop-Up Book is what I'm going to be doing next, and then it will more than likely draw me some asteroids or some other spells that I need to be using. So this turn, they don't really have too much that they're able to effectively do. Obviously they did just take out my totem, which just shows the value that I got with it, since they used their Deafen to play onto it. Drawing into another pop-up book obviously is quite good. I ended up deciding to trade in that situation because getting the extra asteroid damage here with Ethereal Oracle, since I don't have any asteroids in my deck, I want to be trying to establish that to take down the opponent's health. So this turn here I end up using the Ethereal Oracle, and then I use my pop-up book into them. A lot of the weapon rogues don't use Fan of Knives, but I do know that this one does, along with Ethereal Oracle, so it's important that I'm not using both pop-up books at the moment since they're able to take it out. So this turn I got 2 asteroids, or 3 asteroids into them, so it's most of my asteroids from my deck, I believe. Yeah, so they're down to a very low amount of health as well, which is important to note. I do have quite a lot of damage on board as well that will be able to take them out, and with the spell damage and then my other minions that are in my hand, it's not really, there's not really too much they're able to do, especially since I have so much health. They can't just combo me down with their spells and that would more than likely be in their hand. Them not drawing quick pick obviously is quite important as well in this situation. Yep, so I think they end up conceding relatively soon because there isn't really anything they can end up doing. Yep. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the gameplay footage of ASTEROID Shaman, and please like, subscribe for more videos.